Hey, what's up you guys, this is SGB618 here, and today I want to talk about Nintendo toys. We all know that Nintendo specializes in gaming and obviously the video games themselves, the consoles, controllers and stuff like that, but we tend to forget the side merch that they make. You know, when you go to the Nintendo NY store and you see all of the side non-gaming related stuff. Oh wait, no, I can't talk about that, I've never been. Unfortunately, I live in the UK. But regardless, we all know that Nintendo have either made toys themselves or have collaborated with other companies to make toys, just to represent the games that they're bringing out, and also just to bring more hype to the company name. And even though that a few of these toys have actually brought a lot of joy to the Nintendo fans, some of them I'm not the biggest fan of. So in this video I wanted to talk about 4 different types of Nintendo toys that are a lot more recent, and I just want to talk about the pros and cons of each of them. But yeah, without further ado, let's just go straight into it. First up, I want to talk about Amiibo. Now, when I first heard of Amiibo, the first thing that I thought of was Skylanders and Disney Infinity. Let's be real, it's pretty much the same concept but on an even lesser scale. If you think about it, Amiibo is basically those two things but even less functionality. So that would automatically mean that it would do worse than those two, right? Well, no, because Amiibo is still going on to this day and still getting supported to this day and managed to outlast both Skylanders and Disney Infinity. That's actually crazy. Okay, I know that Disney Infinity was a copy thing for Skylanders, but that's besides the point. I can't lie though, I've never been the biggest fan of Amiibo. Don't get me wrong, they have progressed in terms of quality, and a couple of the functionalities like in Super Mario Maker for the Wii U with the costumes, really great idea, and it's really persuaded me to buy the Amiibos that I really want in order to have that inclusion in the game. But unfortunately, I just don't really care much for them. Don't get me wrong, they're nice display pieces, and like I said, a couple of the functionalities are quite cool, but once you've done them, they just serve as that, display pieces that got you that one thing in the game that you wanted. But outside of that, you're literally paying £10 to £20 or possibly even more just for a figurine that doesn't really do much in game for you. Sometimes I struggle to understand what the hype is all about with Amiibo. Don't get me wrong, like I said, they all look great, and compared to the original Smash 4 Amiibos, I'm putting them up against the more recent Amiibos now, they're great, they look nice, and I unbox them and I display them, so I use it for that purpose. But if you want to use it for Nintendo's purpose, aka you don't just use them for display, you also use them for game functionality, it's just not that exciting. And like I said at the beginning of the segment, this is even more limited than Skylanders and Disney Infinity. You're not playing as these characters in game. The most you'll get is a costume for that character in the game, like in Odyssey, Mario Maker like I said, and a couple of other games. But outside of that, it's literally just a tap and go situation. You don't even need to keep that Amiibo on your actual Nintendo device for a super long time, or even as long as you use it. All you have to do is just tap it and then you just disregard it afterwards because you're obviously playing the game. It's kind of sad and it's kind of annoying that Nintendo didn't fully utilize these things. I think I definitely would have preferred if Nintendo had more games catered around that idea, and possibly had at least a game sort of centered around a Skylander-esque vibe. So basically you put down a character and maybe in a full open world Nintendo game you might actually be able to play as those characters. Like, I just thought it was a really cool idea, and even if you look at the origins of my channel, I actually made a couple of Skylanders videos when I was little. So just seeing this concept kind of being gutted out, especially by a company who I've loved from the beginning, is kind of sad, and I think it's a big missed opportunity. I think even Nintendo knows that Amiibos just don't really serve much of a purpose in at least their modern games now. Back in the 3DS and Wii U days, they definitely had more of a purpose. They didn't have a massive role, but you know, in games like Smash 4, Mario Kart 8, and even a couple of the 3DS games, they did have some functionality, and admittedly they did try to shoehorn it in, but nowadays it's kind of just like an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, do you want Amiibos in here? Yeah, sure, just do it. Who actually remembers the fact that 3D World plus Bowser's Fury supports Amiibo. I mean, yeah, the Amiibos are cool. I unboxed it on the channel and everything, and I'm happy to have them, but have I ever used them in 3D World plus Bowser's Fury? No. Do I care about the feature? No. And yet, I somehow decided to pay £25 for the combo pack for Cat Mario and Cat Peach. You see how Nintendo are moving? You see where I'm going with this? If the prices were a lot lower, then I would get it, because you get what you pay for. But if you're making us pay a lot more just for that small feature that you might try and then never try again, I mean, it's not a scam, but it's just not the nicest thing to do. It's not the best feeling after you buy the Amiibo, that's all I'm saying. But Amiibo definitely isn't a failure, it's definitely successful. There are definitely people who are Amiibo freaks out there, Alex C&D, and there are a couple of people who enjoy the Amiibo just from how they look, and that's the biggest reason why I bought them. So there's nothing wrong with that, it's just I just wish there was a bit more to the concept of them. Next up, I want to talk about LABO. This is probably my favourite Nintendo toy in this video. I mean, does it count as a toy? I'm going to count it as a toy. It's basically a toy concept. I really like LABO. Price aside and cons aside, which I will talk about after this little segment. If I had the opportunity to try Nintendo LABO at someone else's house, I would defo take advantage of that. I think Nintendo LABO is such an unconventional concept and something so left field. Like, when this was first announced, I was like, what is this? And even though I wasn't super hyped for it, just looking at it, I was like, this is one of the most interesting things Nintendo's probably ever made. You're literally like creating weird and funny inventions using cardboard and a bit of stickers and elastic bands and stuff like that. Taking me back to Mr. Maker days, big shout outs, and let me know in the comments if you remember those days. And you know, there was just a big nostalgia factor behind it, and I just really like how tabletop mode, or even just handheld mode in general, was utilized with this. I just thought it was a very cool concept and something that Nintendo is still expanding upon today. Like, they're still bringing out more and more LABO packs. I think this is really good. It shows that Nintendo cares about it, they're putting effort in it, and they're not neglecting it. But unfortunately, notice how I said if I had the opportunity to try it, I would take advantage. I'm not buying it. Why am I not buying it? Two big reasons. So on a more simpler note, the price, like, I'm sorry, this is cardboard. I know that this has very, very smart technology and it takes massive advantage of the Joy-Cons technology as well. And you know, it's technically a game, it comes with a cartridge and everything. I get it, I understand. £70 for cardboard. £70. No. Why is that a sentence? £70 for cardboard. You've got to be joking me, right? Literally. And this literally goes into my next issue, which is the fact that there is no place to store this stuff. Once you build it, it's all over your house, which means that you can only buy it if you have a specific type of house, aka rich and big. Basically, you need to plan this all out before you buy LABO. This is one of the biggest problems with this set. There's just, if you have no space for it, it's not practical for you to have it. If you have the space for it, cool, but you're spending £70 on cardboard. And let's think about this as well. You buy something for £70, you got your experience with it, you enjoyed it, you built it all, and you think to yourself, I've had enough of this, I'm going to resell it on eBay. Do you think that the quality of your LABO kit is going to hold up when you resell it? Keep in mind, this is £70 cardboard. I don't even know how many times I've said this at this point. You see what I mean? When you resell it, the quality is just going to go down because it's going to be worn. You've probably taken it all apart, meaning that, you know, stuff has like rubbed together and stuff has obviously fallen apart. And if you keep on doing that, then the material is just going to wear over time. I know that there are LABO sets that are cheaper than that, which is great, but what I'm saying is they should all be that price. I know that Nintendo's variety kit has a lot to offer, which is why it's at that price point. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's quality over quantity. Yes, you might have a lot more to do compared to the other LABO sets, But if it's the same quality, and if, again, longevity wise, after you build it, what are you really doing with it? Like every now and then just whipping it out and playing a little mini game on the LABO game? What, and then you're just gonna store it away? Oh, but you can't even do that because Nintendo's giving you no storage to put these things in. That's literally the other issue biting you after you buy it. Nintendo LABO is a great idea, I will admit, but unfortunately it's just not practical for the consumer. You need all the space in the world so you can store it, and I wouldn't even say that that's the best use of your space. And on top of that, even if you do somehow have all the space in the world for overpriced cardboard, look at the price you're paying for it. You can literally do your own supermarket shopping with that. You can go to Asda's with that amount of money and have a life supply of food. Why are you buying cardboard? It's not that deep. Speaking of which, we've got technically Mario Kart 10, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. I almost called this Mario Kart 9, but unfortunately that honor goes to this abomination. But Mario Kart Live Home Circuit isn't bad, but I just don't really like it that much. I just kind of see this as a toy that works with the Switch. It's not really a game. I really like the concept of, you know, making your own levels and stuff, but this is even less practical than LABO in my opinion, because not only do you need to actually set everything up and, you know, again, store everything. If you have a carpeted house, or even a small house for that matter, whether you want this thing or not, you can't get it. Have you ever tried to drive a remote control car on a carpet? No. You know why? Because it's basically useless. You might as well have a conversation with a brick wall. But obviously it uses the camera from the toy, and obviously you use the Switch and the controllers to move it around the house. Again, like I said, it's more of a toy thing, it's not really a game. I mean, let's be real for a second. One of my favourite parts of any Mario Kart game is how different the tracks are from each other. Obviously not every Mario Kart game gets this right, and a game like Super Circuit is very, well, circuit heavy. For the most part, Mario Kart is all about different track designs and all different environments the further you go into the game, which leads to a very enjoyable experience that never really gets old because most of the tracks are different. So to have a quote-unquote Mario Kart game where the only real location that you're going to be racing on is your own house, I mean, I get the concept, I get the idea, but this kind of seems like something that should have been a mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe rather than its own separate thing. That's like if Nintendo made an entire Mario Kart game just for the steering wheel set for LABO. Like, how unreasonable and weird would that be? And I feel like it's the exact same situation because this feels like a tech demo or just simply a toy compared to any other game. I'm not saying that it needs to be super in depth, or it needs to be like, it needs to have a crazy adventure mode, it needs to have missions, this needs to be the greatest Mario Kart game ever. But what I'm saying is, if this is a toy that you want it to be attached to a beloved Nintendo series, why don't you attach it to the actual game on the console? Again, LABO was able to do it, and quite a few people enjoyed that feature on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So why wouldn't you include the live home circuit feature as a side fun mode for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? And now the moment that you guys have all been waiting for. Yes, we are talking about LEGO Mario. I have made it quite obvious before that I'm not the biggest fan of how LEGO and Nintendo went with this idea. Conceptually, this is great. LEGO is like the best toy out there, even as an 18-year-old guy. Like, LEGO is sick, and it's like childhood memories after childhood memories. Like, I love LEGO. And then you combine that with Mario, that is so genius. Like, oh my days. And part of the reason why I was so excited was because I saw the set for Lego Minecraft, and I thought to myself, imagine a Mario set like that, where like you can literally build Mario's 3D environments, and you can literally build small scenes of Mario literally patrolling the Mushroom Kingdom, like in Mario 64, Odyssey, or even Sunshine. That would be sick. No, that's not what we got. We got a playset. Now I know that this is the 18-year-old me screaming the fact that this is for kids and obviously it's supposed to be played with and not something that's supposed to be displayed, unlike something like the Star Wars sets or even the Minecraft sets. And there is nothing wrong with this being a playset. It just means that it's not for me personally. I know so many people who enjoy this set and who think that this set is really cool, and that's really great on you. I just think it's quite disappointing that it wasn't just a regular set. I just think that would have been such a great display piece, and I think that the level designs that LEGO could have created would have been really cool and interesting. Now I know people won't have any issues with how LEGO Mario and LEGO Luigi came out, you know, as a playset, because it's quote unquote catered towards kids, and obviously kids have more enjoyment with more interactive toys rather than display pieces or just figurines that get moved rather than things that aren't as electronic. And I get it, it makes sense, and I would even agree with you there. It is more kid friendly, if you will. But if you want to go down that route, Minecraft is just as kid friendly as Mario, and that was more of a display set, so why couldn't they do that? You see what I mean? Like, I literally saw that and I was like, that's literally perfect. Imagine like a Mario 64 set like that. That would be sick, and I would have that, build that and have it chilling on my desk. That would be sick. But no, instead we got some weird blocky interactive rectangle with creepy facial features. This thing literally looks like it will kill you when you turn it off. And oh look, LEGO Luigi's here to do the same thing. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part for me personally is how they done the levels. Oh my days, where do I even start with this? Now, I literally said this earlier, the Minecraft sets, bang on, that was wicked because it was a 3D environment and, you know, all the characters were up to scale, so it made it look like it was a little scene that you built. I think that's really cool. But rather than celebrating Mario's great level structure throughout all of his games, you decide to make all of the levels rows of blocks or rows of Lego bricks with like what? Circles to tap Mario on. So if Mario isn't actually moving in the level and he's just tapping his way through levels, it's not really a level, is it? You see what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it has obstacles to interact with as well, which is great, but literally, the levels are literally lines. Levels are lines. You can't get any lazier than that. I mean, if you want to dish out more money to buy Lego in order to improve these Mario sets, then go for it. But in terms of just buying it straight off, you're literally just hovering Mario over rows of blocks. And that's another thing that's disappointing. Lego literally brought out a Lego NES set with Mario moving along on the TV, on the Lego TV, and I thought that was such a cool concept, and it actually functions. Mario actually moves, and you know, I thought that was a very great celebration of not only Nintendo but Mario as well. So for Lego to just kind of not care with the level structure and kind of just the whole presentation of this thing, and in typical Nintendo fashion, overprice it, it's just an L. But yeah, that was the nightmarish world of Nintendo toys. Bit of a random video today, but I wanted to sort of give off my thoughts and opinions on some of those, so hopefully you did enjoy it. Obviously I straight up don't enjoy some of this stuff, and especially aspects of each thing, but that doesn't mean that I absolutely hate Nintendo. And you know, like I said, I like aspects of these things, I just don't like the execution of some of it, and plus it's just my opinion anyway. I'm one guy out of millions of people on the planet. So let me know in the comments what you thought of all of my points that I made in this video. Did you agree with them? Did you not? And let me know, what Nintendo products trigger you? Let me know, I'll be very interested to know. Anyway, thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.